This is a lesson from our After Effects animation course. If you want to know more about how to animate with After Effects, get the full course at bloopanimation.com/aftereffectsanimation. Now, if you have experience working with another animation software, you probably know of something called the graph editor. All 3D programs have it, and some animation programs have it too. Well, After Effects has that as well. To access the graph editor, simply select the attribute you want to work on and click on the graph editor button. This will replace your timeline with a graph editor. Now, you might see a different type of graph editor at first, so make sure you go to the Graph Style and Option button and choose the Added Value Graph. That's a little easier to understand than the default speed graph, which I'm not really a fan of. So make sure the Edit Value Graph is selected, and this looks much more similar to what a 3D program graph editor would look like. So you see when I select the position, we have the X and Y values animated, and if I select the rotation, we have one graph for the rotation. And for me, as an animator, I feel much more comfortable editing the animation using the graph editor than just visually moving stuff around. So for a bouncing ball, I know that the X graph should probably be consistent. So I want to delete some of those keyframes. But the thing is, if I delete this keyframe, it's going to delete the Y position keyframe as well. So I'm going to have to break this into two different graphs. And to do that, I need to right-click on position and choose separate dimensions. Now I can select either the X position or the Y position. And I can animate them separately. So for the X position, I'm going to get rid of most of the animation here. And I can control the spacing of it just like I would in a 3D program. So I know I want to start easing in from this point. So I'm just going to add a keyframe to the X position by clicking on the diamond. And then create some kind of easing in from this point. Okay, I think that works pretty well. And now let's work on the Y position. Well, I know the graph for a bouncing ball usually looks something more like this, rather than a sharp end. See, it's much more bouncy now. It's a very effective way to play with the keyframe. Now I just got to make sure the rotation works as well. Seems like it does. If you don't see the handles over here, you can add them by making it an easy ease. All right, that looks pretty good. So working in the graph editor might be too advanced for most things you're going to be doing in After Effects. But for those of you who want to get deeper into animation using After Effects, it's a great tool to know.